because I used to even question, isn't our God powerful enough to protect, to guard, and to save his own? There's peace between us and God because of faith we got justified.
And rejoice in hope of the glory of God.
Yeah.
And not only so, but we glory in tribulations.
We also glory in
tribulations also.
In tribulations also we glory. Yeah. The glory there is we rejoice, we glow, we shine. There must be a mystery to the tribulation, to the afflictions that we go through. Now, he's saying we glory also in what?
Tribulations.
Now, this is the reason why we glory.
Knowing that tribulation.
Now, we know it's because we know. Not everyone knows. I'm helping you to know now. Now, he says, we know. What does he know?
Knowing that tribulation worketh patience.
Tribulation worketh. Tribulation produces. What is that? That's what you're here to know. Paul is saying, because we know the end product. Therefore, we glory in tribulations. What is this man saying? Because I used to wonder, because I used to even question, isn't our God powerful enough to protect, to guard, and to save his own from afflictions? Where is God when I'm going through this? I'm wondering what kind of a God that features after my blood has been spilled. And he tells my adversary, Cain, that the blood of your brother is crying from the ground. He's a God who comes after I've already been slaughtered. And I'm asking myself, where were you when an enemy was planning and plotting against my life? You are an all-seeing God, an all-knowing God. You knew what they were up to. You never intervened. You never stopped the devil from coming against me. You waited until a court session where a murderer now has to appear, and you question him, where is your brother? Yet you knew exactly what had happened to me. What kind of a God is this? I need to understand it. It's a mystery. Let's unveil it.
Yes.
Let's open it up. Why is it that the Bible declares that the more they afflicted Israel in Egypt, the more they multiplied and increased? Their number, their power, their influence was as a result of having been afflicted.
But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew.
As if they were not growing, as if they were not multiplying. Yet they afflicted them because they were multiplying. They said, these people are becoming too many. If an enemy comes against us, they are going to join our enemy, and we are going to be overpowered. Let us afflict them so that we control the birth rate. The more they afflicted them, what is it in us that we are not aware of that requires an affliction before multiplication can happen? Because you are praying against some of these experiences that some of you here are going through, and God seems not to be interested in taking it away. What kind of a thorn is this that is not responding to this kind of grace, this power, this anointing that you see every day. Everyone who comes here to church, he gives a testimony. This is what God did for me. And you're wondering, how come? I've had the problem ever since I joined this ministry. What kind of a problem is that? You are calling it a problem. I'm here tonight to let you know that might actually be an ingredient. Now, the growth started the day the affliction arrived in the camp. Talk to me about that. What is that with the child of God, that you afflict him? You pull him down the more he rises up. What is it? The day that they fire you from work, that's the beginning of a new operation, a new program, a new project, a new company. The idea, the dream that you carry will be dormant until they fire you. Something had to happen. Something brought the gold to the surface. God was there right from the core of the earth, but we couldn't have it here until there was an affliction. There was need for earth to be afflicted in order for the gold of the earth to come out. You look at the life of Jesus. He needed to be at a place called the crushing. In Gethsemane, the place of the crushing. That's where sweat came out like blood. He healed multitudes. He performed all sorts of things. We never saw him sweating to that extent until he was taken to the place of the crushing. And we start to see something coming out of his body as a result of a crushing, a pressing. And unless you are pressed, we'll never get to see the juice that you carry. No orange juice, my brother, unless there is a crushing at some point. There is no mango juice, forget it, unless there is a crushing at some point. We are not aware of the capacity that you carry unless you are exposed to pressure at some point. Therefore, we glory in afflictions because we know what is eventually going to come out of us. God came here through two major pathways. Because of pressure underneath, there is a pressing, there is a squeezing, and God needed to come out of the core of the earth. And for the gold to find its way to the surface of the earth, it needed to look for fractures, broken places of the earth. The earth, in as much as we see it as one mass, it's broken. It's a combination of different types of rocks. And because of pressure, minerals had to find places of brokenness. And you find gold, you will find copper in places where the earth suffered afflictions. That's where gold is kept. Your value, if you are to listen to me tonight, you will understand your value in this life will be discovered in your places of brokenness. Things that are happening to you today, you are being prepared for certain fluids. Your strength will come out of your weakness. And somebody had a revelation. He said, when I'm weak, then I'm strong. What is he saying? What is he saying? When I'm weak, then I'm strong. When I'm weak, then I'm strong. What is he saying? If I'm to visit strength in my body, I have to identify my place of weakness. When the devil is telling me that you're weak here and there, I tell him I'm strong there and there. That's the place of value. Don't let the devil condemn you because of a weakness, because where you are weak, that's exactly where you're strong. God will use those cracks as passages, Minerals will come out of you from those places of afflictions. So now Paul is saying, so that's why we glory in our afflictions and tribulations, so that you don't see this as an attack from the devil. You will discover today that in every place where you experienced brokenness, it was a strategy by the Creator. You thought God had forgotten you. You thought this suffering was for nothing. Wait and see.
2 Corinthians 12 verse 10, therefore I take pleasure in infirmities, in reproaches, in necessities, in persecutions, in distresses for Christ's sake, for when I am weak, then I am strong.
To think that you can number your weaknesses from today, and that becomes the total number of your strength. That's the number of, you count your afflictions tonight. That's the total number of your strength, of your potential, of your capacities. My God. Let me talk to my son and to my daughter tonight. Your value will settle in those places of brokenness. What they did to you. Show me the people that are against you, and I'll show you where you're going. Show me the size of your enemies, and I will show you how big you are. There will come a day, some of you will wish they had broken you even more. Today it's a problem. You are crying because of brokenness. Something happened to me. Marble is very expensive. Why marble? It's a metamorphic rock. It was once a different rock. What you see today is not what it was yesterday. It was once a limestone, and then it got subjected to heat. It became a marble as a result of its reaction to pressure. How you react, how you respond to heat. So the marble is going to glory in tribulations. Had it not been for the heat, I wouldn't be in palaces today. Why should I glory in tribulations? Because now I know what it works. I'm celebrating, I'm rejoicing over what I'm going through because now I know. Before, I used to pray against these things, but now that I know, I rejoice and I glory. The more they persecute, the more I increase. Have you ever wondered why Jesus said, never should you cast your pearls before swine? You know, in oyster, you know that kind of a fish with shells. That's where you find what? Pearls. It is not saying you don't cast their pearls before this. He's saying your pearls. A pearl was the oyster's reaction to an infection. When something gets into the body of the oyster, even a grain of sand, that becomes a foreign body. Yeah. And when that thing starts to irritate the oyster is going to react, not in form of tears. The fluid is called nacre. The reaction of an oyster is to try by all means to make that problem one with itself. Since I cannot delete my history, I cannot correct what has already happened to me, but God has given me a nacre. It's a liquid in me. My reaction to that problem, yes, I'm infected today. If you come 7 years later, what you're going to find is no longer a grain of sand in my body. It's a pearl. It's a pearl. Am I talking to somebody? Now, you cannot open an oyster and you find 5 pearls, unless that oyster had 5 afflictions, the number of pearls, you're not following this, the number, you can tell, the more these foreign bodies get, you can open one oyster and find 7 pearls. And you know that one pearl, that one oyster with 7 pearls is more expensive than an oyster with no pearl. Because that oyster has never had an experience, no affliction, no tribulation, no infection, no problems, no value. I have a lot of things that I had to deal with personally. Today I have more pearls because of the experiences that I've had in my life. It's how you react, it's how you respond to problems in life that will add to your value. It's how you respond. What comes out of you, is it complaints? You have to be able to release the knack. Are you listening to me? Why is Jesus saying, do not cast your pearls before swine? He's telling you that you also have the same capacity, same ability to produce value. Pearls as a result of your reaction to situations. Problems must not leave you miserable. They have to leave you more valuable. You say, I'm here today because I suffered a lot. I'm a product of problems. I overcame all of them. Why? Because I knew how to release what was needed against a situation. It's not every problem that you have that is going to disappear. No. Most of those problems will be turned into